How can I put this delicately? You look like shit.
Jesus, Will. You look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit.
Yeah, what happened?
Just haven't been feeling so good.
Jesus, Steve, you look like shit. Aren't you feeling any better?
Hey, are you okay? No. You're not okay. You look like shit.
You look like shit. What's your secret?
You look like shit. What's wrong?
What's wrong? You look like shit.
What's wrong with you?
I'm fine.
You look like shit, man.
You look like shit, man. Here, have another beer. This will make you feel better.
Thank you. You don't look too good. In fact, you look like shit.
Why don't you take a shower? You look like shit.
Why don't you get some sleep? You look like shit.
Get some sack time.
You look like shit. You look like shit, man. You should take a nap or something.
Thanks. I will.
Why don't you do the same, Doyle? You look like shit.
A little bit tired. I hate when people say that. It's a polite way of telling you look like shit.
You look like shit. Why don't you go home?
Go home. No. Go home and change. No. You look like shit.
I want you to go home and get some rest. You look like hammered shit.
You look like hammered shit.
Talk to me like that.
Sorry, you look like regular shit.
You look like dog shit.
You look like toasted shit.
I know I look like stir-fried shit. I know that.
You really do look like shit in a ponytail.
Your Majesty, you look like the piss boy. And you look like a bucket of shit.
You look like a bag of shit stuffed in a cheap suit.
You look like a bag of shit. You sure you don't want to borrow my birthday suit?
These breasts are a work of art. Aesthetically and scientifically perfect. They look like shit.
They look like shit.
You guys look like shit.
Come on, guys, let's go, huh? We look like shit.
Hey, Jimmy. You look like shit. Don't you ever shave?
Try to sell our bit, but you look like shit. But we're the ones who are down with it.
How do I look?
You look like shit.
Just found a picture of you. How do I look? Like shit.
I look like shit in that picture.
I look like shit.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I look like shit.
No, you don't. You look beautiful.
I look like shit. Don't I look like shit?
No.
Yeah, you do.
You look like shit.
I know I look like shit.
Oh, I look terrible. Look like shit.
Arnold, you look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit. Fall off the wagon again?
Jesus, John, you look like shit.
The Oscar winners give a press conference, and how to buy a sailboat as prime news coverage.
shit.
You have no idea how much trouble we're going to get into if Howard comes.
You look like shit.
Thanks a lot.
You look like shit.
Gracias.
You look like shit, Ray.
Thanks. You look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit, Montoya.
You really look like shit today, Leonard.
You look like shit, David.
Sal, you look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit. You look like shit.
You look like shit, you wanker.
Jesus, man. You look like shit.
You look like shit. And when you look like shit, Marilyn Dean looks like shit.
You look like shit, man. So does your mama.
You look like shit, man.
What do you want? I just got out of prison.
You look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit.
You look like shit.
Hi.
Hiya.
You look like shit.
She looks better than a 10-inch dick, and you know it.
You look good.
You look like shit.
No, I mean it. You look good.
I mean it too. You look like shit.